Well, hey everybody, it's Tuesday. Jonah Green, I see you right there. Bam. Good evening. Craig was first, go figure. James was second. Tim was third. Trucking Tim, that is. Not the other one. Just saying. Oh man. Chris Hamilton, what's up, buddy? Bear Hunter, good to see you. Mr. Half Price, nice to see you. That's where we're gonna go. Jim Wall, awesome. Who else? I don't know. Whatever. Look, it's just me tonight. Yeah, my brain's not braining. Got nothing tonight, so I'm counting on you guys. This show's gonna go as long or as short as you carry it, because anyhow, you know what? I gotta do the commercial stuff. I'll be right back. Hey, look, I've already talked too long. Let's do it real fast. I gotta find the right buttons. Good God almighty, I'm just ruined.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charlie from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
Your business will make you money if you do well at that business. And ES Advantage in trucking, they do really well at providing those services. So the effect that ES has had on our personal trucking operations, not even talking about what we do on the consulting arena, I've been able to save thousands of dollars a year in fuel because of the relationship with them. I have a new accountant that I work with, trucker CFO, that I learned about from ES Advantage.
They're giving you that 10,000 yard kind of support from behind that creates a way for you to succeed, which is one of the things that we love, because anything you can do to help someone succeed is going to help them succeed. They make money by making sure you make money.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
Jonah Green, I saw what you said there. Let's talk about Swift going in percentage next year. So in their most recent video, they did not use the word percentage. I would suggest you go watch the latest Swift video with Adam Miller, Jim Fitzsimmons, and Mark. I don't know Mark's last name. I don't know. He runs the dedicated stuff. Anyhow, they talked about they use some different wording there on what's coming up with the load board stuff. And it's kind of interesting, the change in wording. We're trying to direct things a certain way that I think will keep everyone out of hot water and things like that. Anyhow, not something I'm ready to talk about today. So yeah, I mean, we just got to wait and see what's going on and how it all kind of plays itself out here in the next few months. And we'll go from there. Yes. I'm excited to see what happens though, like for real. But we'll have to see. Hey, what's going on, Wade? Good to see you. Let's see. Good Lord. I was going to say something, then I forgot what it was because Jonah distracted me. Damn it. It's going to be too easy for you guys today. Beautiful winter day here in Michigan. 50 degrees. Dang. Seabright insurance. That's where I was going to talk. I was going to talk about insurance stuff. So the Swift guys, Sorry, I'm talking about Swift business here, guys. No, you're good, Jonah. So I'm gonna talk some Swift business about Swift guys here. So it was brought to my attention that I'm sure it's on the IEL lease trucks that either currently or in the very near future, if you don't have an insurance policy that provides a gap coverage policy, they're not going to accept that insurance. So insurances like OIDA, for instance, let's say, I don't know if that's going to affect those folks who have OIDA currently and don't have a gap coverage on their financed or leased truck, or if it's only going to be something moving forward. I'm not sure yet. I think that's some information that may be coming out fairly soon. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I would, if I were you guys and I did not have something like a Seabright or, currently using Swift's insurance carrier, which do have gap, then you might want to reach out to Rapid Response and ask to speak to someone smart about insurance over there and say, hey, what's going on? I heard a thing about if we don't have gap, that the insurance may not be good for us anymore. Again, don't know if it's going to be on people who are currently in that situation and just on the new people, or if they're going to say, hey, come this date, if you don't have gap coverage, you need to have it. I don't know. So, yeah, our rates haven't gone up, Tim. I'm going to call you half price because I'm going to confuse myself going back and forth. How old of a truck will Swift accept? Wade, I want to say right now 5 years, maybe 6 years. What I would say is give Michelle Cantrell a call at the Swift Greer terminal, and she'll be able to give you an absolute, like, what is required and all that sort of thing. What is the price increase on trucks? 20? Hang on one second. Half price. But yeah, give Michelle Cantrell a call, Wade. Let me see if I have her number. I think I have her number up here on one of my screens. Let's see. Sorry, bear with me for just a minute. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to put this in the bottom. You can call that number right there, 864-968-7605, or email Michelle_Cantrell@swifttrans.com and drop her your question, Wade. And she'll be able to give you like the most definitive answer, man. Honest to God. I don't want to steer you wrong or say the wrong thing. I can tell you that I think it's 5 or 6 years. But even that, I mean, they seem to change that whole thing on a regular basis. Exactly, Wade. No, you're exactly right. That was last year, and I mean, last month could have changed. Let's just be real. It's definitely a thing. Glad I didn't do that whiskey every time I say it's a thing. I have to take a shot because I'm already working that way. Anyhow, we still have 3 weeks for a good wreck to screw everything up, right? Good Lordus. Good. Oh my gosh. What is the price increase on trucks in 24? If you're asking about truck costs themselves, I don't know. Insurance, we won't know anything till the year closes. Jonas said Michelle's the best. I agree. I like her. I know some people, whatever, don't particularly care for her, or they, said horrible things about her. And I mean, we can fight over it if you want to. It'd be fun. But I love her. I like her. She's like a sister lady to me. I can't help it. And I just know that she's an honest person. She's straight up with me. So half price. I don't even know the story of what happened on that. Rosie said something about healthcare, and someone got killed. And wow. People are crazy. That's all I'm going to say. I can't really comment on it because I don't know anything about the real story. So I'm not going to dip into that. Someone ran into James Bond the other night, and he decided not to pay the deductible on his insurance and go after the offending party's insurance himself. And now he's having to fight with Progressive because that's a nightmare. Just saying. It sucks. He's not happy about it. But he chose it. I mean, it was a choice. I think I would have paid the deductible and let the insurance fight it out and duke it out the way that they do. Would have been better handled and probably come out better in the end, honestly. Oh, good times. Good times. Wait on the mileage contract. Rosie said, the fun has arrived. She brought me Bustelo. It's funny. You can't even see her. Watch. She's going to try and get on the camera. Come on, babe. Show them where you are.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Here. Look. And there you have it. Just to show the size disparity here, just saying.
Oh my God.
I've always told people she's this tall.
Get out of here.
You get out of here. You're the one
Get
who
outta here.
You're the one who came in here, dog,
Fun is leaving the room.
dancing and jiggling in front of me and gonna get me in trouble. Oh my gosh. I love you, babe. Thank you so much. Mwah. She brought me coffee, y'all. Oh, and then she left my door open. That's how she is. Always ask Michelle for a backpack and make sure you tell her Charlie said it to ask. Exactly. She really enjoys that question. She is really, really getting happy about that. Wade, the current, good Lord, she distracted me. She came in bouncing and jumping with coffee in her hand. I'm just saying, you got to understand why I was dazed. So the OTR ban rate starts at $1.15. Yeah. It's a variable rate, goes up to, I think it's $1.36, $1.39 for the shortest miles. So it's a sliding scale. Damn, I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. And yeah. Oh, geez.
Turn that camera off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't fix yours. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I can't see it. I just know that it didn't give me the option. Everybody can see me though, so here's your proof, guys.
Exactly. You look forward, sir. Do not look to the side.
Well, my mirror's over there, dude.
Well, okay, that's fair. She needs to fill Jeff's spot tonight. That's funny, Michelle. That'd be great. I should call her. Get on the show right now, Michelle. What could go wrong? Anyhow, Wade, I'm kind of a poop show tonight, so that's the best answer I could give you on the rate per mile. There's a lot of different rates depending on the line of business you're working in. Babysitter has arrived, right? Can we get the wife and Michelle to host a show? That might be interesting. That could be hilarious, actually, to me. I'm just saying. Exactly, life on 18 wheels. That's what the insurance is there for. Pay them to deal with the headache. That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I don't even understand why, James, you made that choice, bro. I'm just saying. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's your world to live in, bro. You decided not to pay the deductible and go after Progressive yourself. Good luck. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they are going to work you like you have never been worked before, sir. That's what Progressive and all those other guys do. They try to figure out ways to not pay. That's why we have Seabright and the people we have. The percentage
hear me,
thing.
Charlie?
Yeah, man.
Okay, good.
Life on 18 wheels. The percentage thing is not a thing with percentage. It is different wording in their most latest video is what I was talking about. It's definitely a thing, half price. We just keep telling people, let's just calm down. Let them work it out. It's still in development. They're working out how they're going to handle this thing, and let's move on from there. And Chris, do not bring Oompa Loompas. Stop it. I'm just saying. Nobody needs all that. Yeah, dude. I've already bounced all over the place in like 3 or 4 or 5 different topics. It's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Wade's keeping me on track. He's asking me real questions, and that's helpful. Just saying. Oh, Lord. And we were talking about James Bond, how he opted to not pay his deductible with his little fender bender that he had in the truck stop or dock or wherever the hell it was, and go after Progressive himself, and he's finding out what a nightmare that is.
So to manage the claim properly, though, you're supposed to pay your deductible and let Tony's people go after Progressive.
Yeah.
And recoup it for you.
I'm just saying, you're not at
That's
fault.
the way to do it. The Seabright's lawyers are more powerful than your lawyers. And you know what they say about representing yourself. So I'm just saying.
I did bring up Jeff about how there are stirrings about the gap coverage earlier, and how we're getting word that if you no longer have if you don't have gap coverage on a policy, not sure if it's going to affect those who are already in the system with one of those policies without gap, and it's just people moving forward, or if they're just going to come out and say, oh, on this date, you need to have insurance with gap coverage. So something to think about. And I told people they should give rapid response a call and ask to speak to someone about insurance and find out about what this gap coverage problem is. Because, you know, places like OIDA, no gap.
Yeah, they literally, they just about hung up on us when we called them and asked about gap.
Yeah, like, and I pressed it. I'm like, but we need the gap. They're like, nope, we pay market value, nothing else. I mean, you could even go in with a stipulated value with them, because they're like, no, we only pay market value. I'm like, okay, but I'm willing to pay for the stipulated value. Nope, only pay market. Dang it. Okay. Whatever.
It's almost like they would like to see our business model go away. I'm just saying.
Right? Whatever.
Make no mistake, OIDA has never been a friend to independent contractors. That's why you don't see us promoting them.
I don't think that they are a good fit for those of us in our kind of model, in a lease purchase type deal and things like that. I didn't, you know, they've done everything they can to kill that process. And for a lot of people, this was the way in. And yes, a lot of people have failed. And you know what? Look at the failure rate of businesses in general, new businesses. It is horrible. It is horrific. But you know what? If business was easy, everybody would do it and no one would work for anybody else. You know what? Sometimes you just have to work for other people because it's not your thing to run a business. That's fine. Accept that, move on. Accept the responsibility for your business not being what you thought it could be, coming into it with no business experience whatsoever, and thinking you're going to make $1 million.
Right. You know, Tony has mentioned to us several times through conversations that we've had, how many of our members have a master's degree in business?
Right.
I bet there's a few. There's not very many truckers that have a college degree, let alone a master's degree in business. And yet these mega carriers, especially, they will get you into a truck with 6 months experience and $2,500 down. That's all it takes. There's no education. And that's, you know, really the reason we do what we do. Right.
We wanted to fill that education gap and try and help people out. And, you know, hey, man, if we can save you, you know, $10,000 or something like that in your first year, I think you're silly not to take us up on what we offer. But that's me. And if you want to go it alone, go for it, man. I can tell you my first couple of years were kind of rough, and I made a bunch of really expensive mistakes, as have many, 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 many others. And then you take a guy like Chris Hamilton, who came into this, with a bunch of trucking experience, but no business experience on the trucking side, and let us guide him through some things and get him set up a certain way. And the guy's been on fire since day one.
Yep.
I don't know. I'd rather invest in myself and my business. And I do. I invest. Jeff and I both invest in the Road Warriors and Contractors Corner business. We went out and hired us a coach to help us with business stuff. And we hire people to do cool things for us. Like, we virtual assistants that do some of our work in the background so that we don't have to, and we have time to, drive the trucks that we're driving and do the other things that we want to do. So, it's an absolute investment in yourself to find someone who can guide you through and maybe keep you and help you to avoid some of those pitfalls that so many of us make all the time, but nobody ever talks about and shares.
Well, yeah, I mean, even taking the very first step and joining our Road Warriors Meet and Greet private group, which is free, by the way, for you guys to join. Anybody to join that wants to. All we ask is that you give us your email address.
Right.
That's an investment in time, if nothing else. Think about how you're spending your time. Think about how you're spending your money. Are you spending your time and money moving the needle forward? Or are you doing like a lot of us, and I'm just as guilty as anybody, Charlie, on this one. Are you sitting there and watching Netflix instead of working on your business?
Or are you spending your time and money chasing down mistakes that I'm pretty sure many of which we could have helped you avoid to start with?
Right.
Anyhow, the Facebook group, it's free to join. It's right there up on the screen, www.facebook.com/groups/RWEMEETANDGREET, meet and greet, RWE meet and greet. And you can join that group there and maybe get a little guidance or see what the heck it is we're talking about and what we've been trying to do. James heard the BOIR is on hold, and any truth behind that? Yes, it's dang, James, you sent me a copy of the first article that I saw, stating that the federal judge in Texas put an injunction on that. I also followed up with that and saw another article and multiple articles all over the place, actually, but went and looked at the law review, and they did a big workup there on it. So right now it is absolutely on
James Bond.
Yeah, and it absolutely is on in kind of a hold pattern right now, as it has to some sort of decision needs to be made. As of right this minute, it is not a thing. It is a thing, but it's not enforceable. And as I understand, as long as the injunction is in place, the deadline cannot be held. But if you haven't already filed, I filed on the 3rd, which is the day the injunction went in. I didn't find out about the injunction until afterwards, but I filed on the date of the injunction, which is hilarious to me because why not? But if they drop that injunction, say, I don't know, 3 days before, you may be jumping out of your butt to meet the deadline of the 31st. Yeah. So be careful.
Yeah, we asked Colton about it because we found out about it right after the show we did with him. So I sent him a text, and his advice is that he's not going to give advice on this one, man.
Right.
Yeah, he did go over, and I put it up on the Swift group for guys to see that they're in that. But he's not. I appreciate his hesitancy to actually say, yeah, just don't know. He's like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But he did go over, if the injunction gets lifted and then you didn't file, then you got that fee every day that you don't file. And, are you going to pay attention enough to know if that happened? Or are you going to be a victim?
Because it's like $500 and something a day if you don't file by the deadline whenever they make the new deadline or enforce the existing deadline.
Yeah. On the other hand, if you file and the injunction stays and it goes to the highest court in the land and it gets deemed unconstitutional like they want, now you just gave up information unnecessarily to the government.
Right. And what are they doing with that information?
We don't really know.
We talked about it. They're going to sell it to Alphabet and Zucker.
Yep.
That's what we think is going to happen. Sounds good. It's a good story, though. Prove me wrong. I read it on the internet. What? Half Price says, some idiot advised me to get an LLC. Worst thing I've done besides getting married. I'm not going to touch the married thing. I advise most people not to get an LLC because most of them get an LLC thinking it's going to protect them. And a one truck contractor owner operator is not protected by an LLC. If you get in a wreck, they can go after the LLC. They can go after the driver. They're going to go after your insurance, the carrier. They're going to go after everybody who has a pocket to dip into.
Right.
So don't think that an LLC is going to save you some sort of.
Yeah, I mean, people have this this impression of what an LLC does because of all those late night commercials from lawyers that you see when you're sitting in a hotel room waiting for your truck to get fixed. And they all want you to file in like Nevada. That should be a clue, right?
Or Delaware.
Or it's like the mortgage thing, right? I had a guy call me one time. Yeah, we can refi you, and it's going to be great. I'm like, well, where are you out of? Oh, our offices are in Florida. I'm like, oh, I just read an article about all the scams coming out of Florida and the mortgage and stuff. No, thank you. You know, it's buyer beware, man. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have to keep your own counsel on this one, I think. I think you're going to be hard-pressed to get anybody to tell you what to do on this one. I know for Donna and I, we will probably file it in the next week, make sure that everything's filed. Just because we know ourselves, right? Here's what's going to happen, Charlie. We're not going to file. We're going to go up yours. There's an injunction. And then it's going to fail in court, and they're going to reinstate it, and I'm not paying attention that day.
Right.
And so I don't do it in a
or
timely
that
manner.
week worse.
Right. Hey, chances are if the injunction fails and the regulation is kept in place, they will probably extend the deadline.
Right.
But, you know, we just don't know.
Right. There's no guarantee of that. And that's the problem. You know, I'm a little upset that I filed. But then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? But if it goes through, then I've already done it and it's out of the way.
Yeah.
Well,
and like we've talked about before, I think this came up on the show last time too. What they're asking for, they could get just by talking to the state.
Right.
Because it's all the information that you file, they had to give up to file for an LLC in the first place. So I don't know. It just seems like busy work, unnecessary work. If they're really concerned about people in their shell companies, it seems to me like, I don't know, the FBI has all those people with advanced accounting degrees. They could probably figure that out. I think that's what we pay them for, right?
Right.
So
TK, as a sole prop, if you do not have an LLC that you're operating under, then no, you do not have to file.
Correct.
Half price.
You have to have a corporation of some sort.
Right. Or a partnership or something along those lines. And yeah. So let me see. Chris Hamilton, new Seabright cloud thing. I think
I let the cat out of the bag.
Huh?
Tim's.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold off on that though for right now.
I posted about it. You're welcome.
It's okay, but right now we still need to learn a little more about it before I can talk educated on it. It is a cloud-based system, and you'll be able to do a lot of cool things there, including, you know, checking your own invoice. printing
Oh,
your own.
I was going to say that what we're working on with Seabright and this Randy guy is the ability to have all of your invoicing and stuff go through that system.
Right.
So it's just there. 10 days before bills due is what the goal is.
Right.
That way you can look at your own invoice and it gives you enough time to call if something's not right and get it fixed. But no more calling and bugging Sandy because you didn't get your invoice to getting all upset,
Right.
all that stuff. This is, I
Invoices
think this
did
is
go
going to
out
be,
yesterday, by the way. I got my invoice yesterday.
Okay.
I thought that
yeah,
was
but you're
interesting.
Charlie.
That means
That's
it's 2
because
days
you're
early.
Charlie.
Yeah, well, and that's why I bring it up, because I don't know. So that's one of the things I actually want to talk about tonight was to bring that up and see if anyone else had gotten their emailed invoice for this month. If so, let me know. If not, make sure you're checking your email right and it's not going into your spam or trash or anything like that, because that happens a lot. And everybody's like, I didn't get my invoice, and then we find out it was in their spam or trash. So that's still a thing. I mean, there is some user error here. But hopefully these problems that we had last month are not happening again. So James said, yep, I'm good. Chris said I did too. So cool. Maybe they fixed that little problem that was going on. That's helpful. I know Trucker Tim had a thing where he actually paid twice and it screwed up his bank. And it was a problem with the billing system that they fixed and noticed right away.
So I think it's important to mention that some of the stuff is not necessarily a ladies in the office at Seabright issue.
Right.
And so they literally don't know unless you tell them.
Right.
There's something wrong.
The system did catch the problem.
Did it?
Unfortunately,
Okay.
it caught it too late.
Right.
Because it had already put it through the bank and bounced it and did all kinds of stuff. And Tim, Trucker Tim, if you're hearing this, then I know you said that they made it right, but I just want to iterate for anyone else. If something like that ever happens, and I mean, he literally paid twice. They tried to charge him twice for the month, and that sucked. And there was some overdraft fees and that kind of thing. And what they told me they did and are willing to do is any financial harm and damages that were caused by something like that, let them know they will make that right absolutely without even thinking about it. They just need to see what happened and they will fix it.
Yep. Well, like I say, a lot of times they don't see it until it's pointed out. So
and Tim
like
said, yeah, they refunded it and the bank refunded his overdraft fee. So that's awesome.
Yeah. They, I was in trouble with taxes once years ago. And you hear the horror stories. And so this is a good one to use for this little topic, Charlie.
Right.
You know what I did? I called the IRS.
Crazy talker.
Talked to an agent. Made a deal. And got my taxes paid.
I'm going to make you enough. You can't refuse, IRS.
And here was the deal with that. And this goes with banks. This goes with credit cards, whatever, if you're running into issues with stuff like that. So the IRS, believe it or not, they made a payment plan with me. And as long as I made my monthly payments on time, there were no penalties.
Right. Nice.
And I was talking to the guy. I'm like, well, this went a lot easier than I thought. He's like, yeah, I don't know why people don't call us. I'm like, because they're scared of you, dude. He's like, well, right. Yeah, I know. But, we have these programs and all they got to do is call. That's what the dude does like 24/7, basically.
Problem is they don't advertise those programs. All they advertise is, we're the big bad IRS.
We're coming for you.
Out of your house.
We're coming for you. Look what we did to Wesley Snipes.
Right? We want to put you in jail for forgetting to file last month.
So yeah, it's just call people. That's my advice. That's my point. That's my advice on this one.
Right. Trucker Tim said he had to step away for a minute to make a delivery, only to find out that they stopped making deliveries at 2 p.m. Ugh. Man,
oh my.
That sucks a lot, bro. I'm sorry. I giggle with you because if we don't giggle, we'll cry. I'm just saying, it's a thing.
Hey, so
What?
I'm on I-85 in South Carolina, and it's raining. And as a guy from Oregon, you know what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
These people either need to drive or just stay the heck home.
All right.
I'm sorry. It's not. It's like misting. It's not really raining. And it's like 62 degrees, so it's not like there's any like snow or ice right now.
Right.
It's just weird, man. People lose their minds, man. You know, you go through areas like this, and every year the weather gets like this, right? And every year, everybody loses their minds. It's the darndest thing.
Ooh, there's a mosquito in my room. It just buzzed my ear.
That's neat.
Oh, Jesus. It just went. I was like, what the? There was a wreck up in Atlanta I was telling Jeff about. I'm going to look that up and see if I can find it. I got to find out what happened because what I saw was crazy.
Was it as crazy as the accident I came up on?
No. But no, mine was like I couldn't justify what I was seeing with what was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I came up, those of you who know Atlanta fairly well, we were northbound on 75, getting ready to get on the 285 transition to go west. That was closed. So I went straight up through 75 because I was delivering inside the loop anyhow. But as I passed that crazy transition from 75 to 285, I saw why they had it closed. And there was like 3 or 4 cars rolled over in that turn. I mean, I can see one car being rolled over, but multiple cars upside down. Like there was at least one completely upside down and at least 2 on their side. And I was like, how does that? It was raining. So you would think rather than getting traction and rolling, they might slide and smash the wall. Mm-hmm. How did they all end up upside down? And that's what I want to try and figure out because that has me completely perplexed.
That is bizarre.
I don't even understand it. So I'm looking to see what happened. Let's see. What day was that? That was Monday morning. Was it Monday morning? Yeah. So let's see. That would be the 9th, right? Yeah. Traffic accident. Sorry, this has got me perplexed. I can't help it. Let's see what I can pull up. There's one on the Georgia 400, wrong way driver. God, I'm glad I missed that. Oh, that was in November. Thank you. Let's see. Coca-Cola delivery drivers deaths and a 17 vehicle pileup.
Oh, that's special.
That was today, apparently. Wow.
Christmas lights.
Jesus, Atlanta is crazy. Man crashes into multiple cars, shot after a fist fight. What the hell is going on in the world? Yeah,
That's not okay.
I don't even think this wreck garnered news because of all this other craziness. Wow.
So where was I at, Charlie? Those tunnels. Delaware.
Oh yeah,
right.
Or DC, Virginia.
Yeah. So on 95, those tunnels that go under the bay there, a truck hit the median barrier, like where the tunnels split left and right going southbound, hit that barrier between tunnels and caught fire. That was a 3-hour delay to get 5 miles.
See if I can pull that picture up. I think it's on your Facebook.
Did I post it? I can't remember.
Yeah. Let me close this. Let me click on that. Yeah, this was nuts. Let me see if I can share this. It's crazy.
Yeah, when I finally got up to the wreck, I could see the burned up truck. There was 5 of those flatbed tilty recovery vehicles, 2 heavy rescue guys, and a big ass dumpster in the middle of one of the lanes. And there was a Kubota tractor going in and out of the tunnel, scraping up debris.
Yeah, Jeff, I got a picture up on the screen for folks that we were, just so they can see it. And that is gnarly, man. Like that, and that's right there. It's either was that at the entrance or the exit from your side? Well, either way,
Entrance.
it's at one end or the other, like right at the damn tunnel. And nobody
fire
died,
inside the tunnel would have been a lot worse.
right? And no fatalities.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. I mean,
Yeah,
you
one
see
guy
the
that's out of work for sure.
right? I mean, it is just crazy, dude. There's some other. Yeah, I don't want to go through all that, but yeah. So anyhow, that was gnarly. I don't even know what to do with that. That's good God. Mike Henderson said, funny thing is in the Northwest, they can't drive when the sun is out. Just saying.
Sun's never out there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
For the 3 days. Half price said I
Seattle a couple of years ago had 1.5 days of sunshine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was like a record-breaking cloud cover year.
Half price Tim Keller said, I came through Indy yesterday and there had to be oil on the road, multiple cars off the road, and I felt like I was driving on grass. Yeah, that's always sketchy too, especially when it hasn't rained for a minute. That first rain or just shortly after it starts. I tend to slow way the hell down when it hasn't rained a couple days out here, because Lord knows all these trucks and cars, everybody out there leaking oil and nonsense, and it just sits there. And good God, when the water hits it, the show is on, man. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Jeff had to drive today because he actually sat for the last couple of days and was like, nope, load pop this afternoon. I got to go make some money. I'm lucky enough to be sitting at the house and drinking Bustelo.
Yeah, I actually got a stack that takes me through Friday, so we're good.
Oh, perfect. Even better. See, I didn't know all that.
1,500 miles in 4 days. It's pretty good for this operation.
Jeff and I were in a meeting when this load popped up, and he's like, all right, I got to go. Bye. That was fun. We had to get up early this morning.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I actually had to set an alarm like an adult and stuff, and yeah, so whatever. Let's see. Did I miss anything here? Jonas said, yeah, speeding and wet road will get you. Absolutely. That's, oh my God.
So have you ever hydroplaned in the truck, Charlie?
Yes. My first solo.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it? It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
My very first solo load in 2004, coming around a turn in the Fort Worth area. I was the middle truck in a stack of 7 trucks. We were like, I was like, big trucker. I was talking on the radio. Yeah, let's go. And we're all going and we're all jaw jacking back and forth on the radio. And it's drizzling and we're going around this turn and all 18 wheels start sliding out. And the guy behind me like, oh, here goes Pee-Pee's going for the wall. And I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Just steer it, just ride it out, ride it out. And right before I got to the wall, all 18 tires kicked it back underneath me, and I drove it out, and I got cheers. And they're like, good job, Pee-Pee. And I'm like, oh man, this is my first solo load. They're like, yeah, you should probably get out of this line, bro.
Yeah.
That was going from Fort Worth to the Bronx. My very first solo load. Just saying. It was great.
Bronx, huh?
Yeah, dude, not okay. Anyhow, but yeah, it's not a pleasant feeling. When they first redid that transition over there underneath 475 on 75, they laid down this concrete that was not good for water. And I swear it was polished, man. And you'd come around that turn. If you were doing above 45, it was coming loose underneath you 9 times out of 10. They finally went back and kind of roughed it up and redid parts of it because they kept putting trucks and cars out in the median out there. Like, I mean, every day water hit that road, some was going into the grass, and it was not okay. But yeah, that is a sketchy feeling when that happens. Oh, half price Tim Keller said the car spun out in front of me in Houston. Can't believe I was able to go around. Look, so one night, me and one of my team drivers, when I was running my little fleet, one of my guys was driving, and we had opted to run I-84 into Portland and then go down to Cabela's down there. Where the hell is that? Salem, somewhere around there. I don't know. And because the mountain passes were so bad, right? So we were like, we're going to take the extra miles and run 84 because typically it's not quite so bad. No, it was worse. Turned into absolute freezing rain. And my driver, I'm in bed, man, just knocked out, happy, just dreaming, right? And I hear my driver. So we got a little code, oh poop, oh poop, oh poop, with the other word that starts with the S. Means we're about to crash. Brace yourself, right? I know it's weird,
Right.
but that triggers my alarm in my head, and that's what I trained everybody that was ever with me to say. When you think bad things are happening, that's what you need to say, because my brain will trigger on that immediately. Anyhow, so I hear that phrase. I immediately sit up, and we are sliding, and the truck in front of us is sideways, and he's blocking all the lanes, and he's in the process of jackknife diesel tank as he's doing this. And I'm sitting there talking to my driver. All right, buddy, I had my hands on the back of both seats, and I'm just bracing just in case. I'm like, all right, buddy, just take your foot off the throttle. All right. Steer a little left, little left, little left. We're going high. We're doing Days of Thunder, bro. We're hug the wall. He's going to slide off the wall. He's going to slide off the wall. Just hold it there, brother. Keep foot off the throttle. All right, no brakes. All right, just let it now roll through. And dude, the truck moved away from the wall, and we drove right through. And holy crap, it was amazing. And then we stop about 2/10 of a mile down the road. I pull over, or my driver pulls over. I get out of the truck to go check on the guy. Sheet ice, and I mean an ice skating rink, to the point where I was having trouble walking. I was on a slight incline headed down to the bottom of the bowl and up the incline on the other side where he finally stopped. And I could not walk it. It took me 20 minutes to walk that far. He had gotten the truck straightened out and then drove past me and waved. And I'm like, bro, you're leaking diesel. I can see it all over the icy road, right? Someone had called and reported it. They got him stopped like 3 exits down, right? I pulled over and talked to what was with the state troopers there. And I was like, yeah, man, if you need anything, this is what happened. I mean, I didn't see him really do anything wrong. This is just the real details. It was crazy for us. It was crazy for him. And heck, I think he did a good job just even keeping it on the road, to be honest, right? And they're like, yeah, so he doesn't even possess a CDL.
Oh.
And the guy that did have a CDL was in the bunk sleeping.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll be getting them. I'm like, all right, peace, I'm out. You guys do you. Good job, guys. Hi, Ida. Good to see you. But yeah, I mean, dude, that is not a good feeling when all 18 break loose and you're just, I mean, you can try and steer through it, right? And try and steer in or out, whatever it is you're going to do, given the circumstances, right? But there are those few times where I don't care what you do at the wheel, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Just nothing happens. And you're along for the ride, and for whatever it is.
Well, the one wreck I had, that's what's my experience.
He did a perfect 180.
Yep, in the middle of I-80 in Nebraska.
Right?
Absolutely should not have been out there.
Did not jackknife. A perfect straight 180.
Yep.
That takes talent, sir. You know what? You get some. Oh my God, it probably sounds like garbage when it goes out over the air. Cars scattered all over I-80. Towing companies have to love it. Weeks of work ahead, right? Ida, how you doing, sister lady? Been a minute that I've seen you face to face. I'm just saying. Yeah. God, it's a good thing. I got an eye appointment on the 8th of next month, and it's a good thing because these glasses are not doing it for me. I'm constantly having to readjust and over adjust, and even if they're strongest, I'm not reading the words right sometimes. Oh, that's one, Ida. Ida said I slid backwards down Sherman in Wyoming one night. That's not okay.
Yeah.
I remember what hill was that? God, it's been so long since I've been out there. You know that little hill kind of out, it's what is that damn town out there? I'm trying to think. Maybe it was over there by no, it wasn't Little America. It was one of those. So you go down this, you're going down this little dip, right? And you get to the bottom, and then it's just this nice mellow uphill, and at the top is a ramp, and there's a truck stop there, and I can't remember what it is. Sorry for that. It's been a while since I've been out there. And it was sheet ice, of course, right? I mean, just polished up. And we're all doing fine, man. Like everybody's doing good. And we get one guy that's up in the pack, leading the pack, who's not quite so comfortable. And he let off he like gave up all his momentum and started slowing down on that little incline. And he got to the top and he started sliding backwards. So of course that makes everybody have to stop. And now all of us are sliding backwards. Luckily I was at the bottom and just kind of backed up a bit, so I was out of the way. This was amazing to me. Nobody hit anybody, and everybody came down that hill backwards.
Wow.
And then we all proceeded to put chains on and drive up that stupid little hill. And then it was fine after that damn hill. But you could not get up that hill without chains, because now the traffic had stopped, and now you're trying to do it with no momentum, right?
Right.
Oh my God. But that was a fun one.
I once chained up 5 times in one day.
What's that?
I once chained up 5 times in one day.
Dude, so like no exaggeration, we would chain 2 to 3 times a day running that Cabela's account back when we were establishing it. You know, because back then we literally were required. If the road was open, we were required to drive. That's just how they built that contract, and they were trying to win that Cabela's account before anyone else could get it. And so, I mean, you know, and it was all contractors, and we all knew what we were signing up for. But so chaining was like, it got to the point where we could literally chain 5-10 minutes, done. Be moving, unchained, 5-10 minutes, done. And never lose chains, because we're chaining so damn much, and, you know, had a good system for it. Right. But man, that got old. I mean, I did that for, I don't know, 3 years or 4 years, something like that, which is why I no longer drive in the snow. I am over it. Don't want to, have no desire. Don't even want to be anywhere where it is snowing. Right. I'm just over it. And it was just not a good time. But you know, back then, I mean, you know, different trucking. We all know that, you know, it's just different trucking. And I'm not saying it's better or worse or anything else. I'm just saying we did things a little different back in the day. And now we're a lot more focused on safety, which I'm actually glad about. I have no problem with them saying, hey, if it's snowing and you need change, you need to not be driving. I'm like, okay. I used to have that thought, oh, you big wuss, just throw some damn iron and get on down the road, right? You know, and oh man, whatever. I mean, people change, they evolve. It was real. Different time. I mean, you talk to those guys that were running in the 70s and 80s, right? And they're like, what? You don't throw iron? You ain't a truck driver. You know? And, you know, it's just like the guys, oh, you drive an automatic. You ain't no truck driver. You got an electronic log. You ain't no truck driver. Whatever, man. Evolution, bro. I'm just saying. Right? Ida was good times. She did, Cabela, she said. Recommendations for replacement low beam bulbs brighter than factory halogen. I don't know, because I haven't even had to deal with headlights on this newer truck. Can you change I don't know, on my 23, I don't even know if I can change the low beams in there without replacing the entire housing. I honestly have no idea.
22, it was the whole unit or nothing. So I can't imagine they changed that in one model year.
Yeah, see, Mike knows exactly what I'm talking about. So doing Costco heavy loads out of Sumner, Washington, going to Salt Lake City and Billings, chained every night 2 or 3 times. Exactly. See, we ran out of Sumner terminal, the JC Penney terminal over there, just down the street. That's where we ran the Cabela's account out of. So we'd go from damn it, what was that town? I don't know. One of those towns over there. We'd pick up the import stuff for Cabela's and take that over to Sidney, Nebraska or Prairie du Chien, and then make store deliveries on the way back. And going there, we were usually heavy. It's usually like cast iron and all this kind of nonsense. That's kind of stuff. So it wasn't quite so bad on the ice and stuff. But when we got into the store delivery side, like one day you're 5,000 pounds of canoes in a big band trailer in the winter across Wyoming. Not fun, man. Not fun at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Oh my gosh. There were days where I enjoyed it, right? When I first started, I was like, yeah, this is trucking. And then I got to a point where I was like, I hate this, man. Like, I'm stressed out to the point where my last season there, I took the winter off and I told 2 of my team guys, I'm like, you guys run the truck. I'm out. I'm convinced, like my brain convinced me I was going to die that winter. So I did not drive that winter. And I took the winter off. And then some weird politics happened. And I mean, people got fired, but I got put off the account for some nonsense. And yeah, it was a funny thing. But that dude got fired. So whatever.
Politicking.
Oh, dude, it was bad. Like inside office politicking. Wait. Without giving names. Here, this is the crazy part. One of the guys that was on the other account was running JC Penney. His driver leader was having relations with his wife.
Oh.
So he would send him on these crappy loads that he couldn't turn by himself solo in one shot.
Right.
Oh, bro, it was terrible. And then they moved the JC Penney account, and that guy got fired when it all came out. And that dude's wife moved in with that other guy. I was like, oh, and they both got, because both of them worked for Swift, they both got fired. It was funny. I'm just saying that's probably too much information, but it was hilarious. I thought, karma, baby, karma. That's what happens. Because that was the dirtiest thing I'd ever heard in a trucking sense. Oh, good Lord. Trucker Tim's in Jurupa Valley, and it's a lovely 70 degrees. Nice.
Bojangles.
Mike Henderson, I moved to Texas just to get away from snow. Got down here, and they made me do chain classes. I hope they paid you for it. Oh, geez. Half price Tim Killer said, I miss California deliveries. Never had problems running California. Hey, I just don't like the politics and the fuel and all that nonsense out there. I just, I was running an old truck, and that was a whole problem. And now, I mean, I'll go in there if I need to. I don't really care, honestly. I just fuel it before I ever get there. Make sure I got enough to get the hell out. Craig said it's 27.
Yeah, I had it figured out that I could fill the tanks in Ashland, Oregon with that Petro there.
Right.
Deliver in LA and get to Arizona before I needed fuel again.
Yep. And you know what? 99 times it was the best move.
Every once in a while it flips.
Right.
So you gotta watch the price action. But here recently, there's no question fuel in Oregon. Right. It's crazy in California right now.
Well, when it does flip though, it completely breaks your brain. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened?
Yeah.
But you got to actually be paying attention to the IFTA prices, folks. If you're going to be really paying attention to your fuel costs, just saying, throwing it out there. We can help you with that. If you don't understand it, by all means, reach out and we will gladly go over some stuff. Chris Hamilton, 60 and rain in Nashville. Yep. That sounds about right.
Yeah, my next load goes up to Cincinnati, so we'll see how that pans out.
Well, hopefully you get out of there quick. Well, you are, right? You're just going up and out.
No, the load I'm on right now goes to Valdosta. Then I got a deadhead about 290 miles to pick up the load going up to Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. Dang, when you delivering in Valdosta?
Tomorrow.
Okay. I won't be there.
Yeah, it'll be a quick in now because I got to get some miles off that deadhead before the day is over.
Oh, bro, I felt bad for this guy. I stopped at QT down there at exit 18 in Georgia yesterday on our way home. And that QT's got this history of, half the pumps are broken all the time. And if you get there at the wrong time, it's all backed up and whatever, right? And it seems to be a QT thing. Anyhow, I pull up behind this guy because I see him. He's got hoses in the tanks. I'm like, all right, this one's working. We're going to pull up behind him. I get there. I set the brakes, put myself on duty. Guy walks over. He's like, man, the pump's broken. I'm like, oh, hell. He's like, yeah, the other ones, right? So I start backing up, and a guy next to me, guy comes around, blocks me. He sees me backing up, but he zips behind me to get to the island next to me and takes that spot. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I back up real quiet, careful, and I go around, make a loop around the QT and just pick one. I see a guy, again, pumping fuel, and he's actively working. I'm like, thumbs up? He's like, yeah, thumbs up. I'm like, cool. So I sit there and wait for him. As I'm sitting there waiting, the guy that told me the other pump was broken, I see him come around. He's like, dang it, he's got to pull around and get back in line himself. And what do I see hanging out the right side of his truck? But the hose that he just removed, that was the one pump that was working at his fuel island. It was just the slave side, not the master side. He ripped it right out the damn thing. He was just all kinds of flustered. I felt bad for the dude, so I didn't even say a word to him, man. I didn't look at him. Nothing. Some other driver started blowing his air horn. Hey, man, you're dragging a hose, you dummy. I'm like, that ain't nice, man. That ain't nice. That dude's so.
There's a video out there. Well, there's a couple of them, but usually on like Twisted Truckers, they got the video of the truck driving down the interstate with hoses hanging out the tanks.
Right.
So I actually yanked a hose once years ago. And you know what I was amazed by is I was like, crap, there's going to be a claim. I'm going to lose my job. All that stuff that goes through your head as a young driver, right? It was at a Flying J. The dude's like, all right, let me call my guy. Calls the guy.
Right.
We go out there together, and he's like, all right. He grabs the hose, and just clicks it back together. It's got that quick release, emergency release thing on it. And I was like, so are we good? He's like, oh yeah, man, we're good. That happens all the time. I'm like, really?
They literally just snap back. I always wondered about that. I never tried to mess with them before.
Yeah, with that big where that big metal bulb thing is.
Yeah, the little.
That's a quick snap fit. And if you pull away, that's what breaks apart, and it just goes right back together.
Oh man.
Don't do it just to see it.
They don't put back together the ones that are driving down the interstate.
Right. That's when they get on the closed circuit video and find out who it was.
Right, and charge them for a new hose. Jeff,
and
Ida,
and then it's a theft.
Oh,
right? They stole the hose.
Jeff, Ida said that's not how you save Valdosta, bro.
Whatever.
Driving with John. What's up, drivers? He says. He got like a little happy face. I can't see what that is on top of his head. Is that a butterfly? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I like it. Good to see you. Glad you're here. If you got questions, feel free to throw them up, man. We'll do our best to answer whatever kind of question you got. Obviously, Jeff can't see the screen. He's just driving down the road, listening on the ears and flapping his lips with us here. I'm sitting at the house because I'm lazy. Whatever. It's my day to be off. No set topic today. So if you guys got stuff you want to talk about within reason, y'all, don't get me in trouble. It's too easy. Y'all know it's too easy to get me in trouble and push me down some weird rabbit holes. And then I get yelled at. And then we got to change the video settings because I done said something that I'm not allowed to say because YouTube is YouTube. Whatever.
Yep.
Let's see. Turkey Tim said it's been about 19 months since I've been to the Swift Terminal out here in Drupa Valley. I see they repaved the road outside the entrance finally. All right.
Well, that'll last about a week.
They also have.
I remember last time they repaved it. It lasted about a year, I guess.
Right.
That whole area around that terminal, there's just so much heavy truck traffic. It just beats the road,
it's insane, bro. I don't like that place. Never have. I just never had a good experience there ever. It's just
They
not.
used to have a really good. They used to have a really good taco truck that came in though.
Driving with John asks, what type of trucking do y'all do? All kinds are around here, man. On the channel and in the community that we run. We got flatbedders, we got reefer guys, we got drive-in guys. Jeff's an expedited dude over at Panther. I'm personally contracted to Swift. Quite a few of our guys are contracted to Swift. That's kind of where we started with all this. But we got guys that are out here running their own numbers. I mean, you know, there's some people doing a little bit of everything in the community here and there. They come and go and they pop in and they say, hey, you guys are big dummies, or hey, I love you, and stuff like that. And it's all good, man. How about yourself, John? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. If you'd like to share a little bit, that'd be cool. Ismael said, Ismael Castaneda said, guilty. I yanked the hose once. Did the walk of shame into the store. Did you carry the hose inside? Please tell me you carried the hose, because I have never done that. And now that I said that, I'm really scared. I would feel the need to tell on myself because of me. Driving with John. Are you tired of Swift jokes? No, I don't care. I mean, whatever. People pick on us. That's okay, man. I'm out here making money, so I'm pretty happy. Maybe not as much as some, but I know I make more than others. I'm pretty happy with what I do. So, I mean, people make jokes. That's cool. It's a thing. Ha. God. So, Jeff,
there you go.
I was gonna do the show. I was gonna bring a bottle of whiskey in here, and every time I said it's a thing, you have to take a shot. I thought that would be a good show, bro.
You're not supposed to be drinking anymore.
I know, but it was funny, right? It would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
I would have got like 10 minutes into the show and been done. Sleeping on the keyboard since, I mean, I've had what, 3 or 4 beers in the last year.
It's saying I'm Batman. You'd be Batman again.
Good God. I don't think I could have said that if I was hitting the whiskey. Maybe
you'd be Robin then.
So driving John says, I drive a reefer. I'm an owner operator. Sweet, man. You running your own numbers. You lease to a big carrier, small carrier, mom and pop. What do you got going on, man? We got all kinds, brother. I mean, honest to God. Ida here. Ida, she said personally she likes Swift jokes. Ida used to be a company driver and then an owner operator, and now she runs a fairly large account for Swift, running the Target account over here in Florida, which is pretty awesome. She's one of my favorite people on the planet, not just because I drive there all the time, because she knows when I'm done with that mess, I just disappear. And when she's done with me, she makes me leave. So it's fun.
Fair enough.
Hey, Mike, what's up, dude? Hey, Narc's here. I mean,
all right.
Mike Raven. Is that really you? Like, is that like a real one or is that like a fake one? I'm just saying. Isn't that? I don't know. Let's see. Make it Mountain Dew or something. Donna's trying to keep me in my clothes. What? Good to see you, Mike. Dude, I almost called you earlier, Mike, because Jeff wasn't going to be here at all. And I'm like, I'm a train wreck, bro. Maybe we'll do a maintenance show. And I almost called you, but I didn't know what you had going on today. And I know I probably should have just called you and said to hell with it, but I didn't. My bad.
Yes, you should have.
It would have been hilarious because, people always get thrown off by that mess.
So can you even see me at all in the dark, Charlie?
You're kind of a glowing pink dot over there every now and again. Every now and then you get lit up. It's funny. So
like when I check my right mirror, you can see my shiny nose or something.
Yeah. You're like Rudolph. Bling! What? Good God. Where to go? Hey, Driving John said he likes the positive attitude. So yeah, man, we dig it, dude. We try not to let stuff get us down. I mean, because what good does it do? I mean, really.
Well, our whole thing is you can make money in trucking in any number of ways. You just have to be smart about it. You have to plan your time. You have to have the vision that you're going to go do this thing, and you got to stick to it. We know guys at Swift that make really good money, and we know guys with their own numbers that are about ready to hang up their keys. It's all over the board, man.
Oh yeah.
So what we focus on is, hey, you were successful. Tell us about that. Tell us how you did what you did. and we pass it along.
Right.
That's what we do.
Not to mention all the crazy mistakes we've made in our 20 years living each. So Driving with John is telling us a little more about himself. He's leased to a very small carrier with a very beneficial contract. Good on you, sir. I'm glad you got something like that. He said a lot of LOL. A lot of my videos have Swift trucks. Have Swift trucks in them. I mean, no offense, but some of your coworkers make it too easy. Look, just keep in mind. Now, keep in mind. I just a minor defense here, right? Look at how many trucks there are, and then look at the safety rating and compare that out there in the world. Just gonna throw it out there, just to be fair. You see so many Swift trucks because there are so damn many. We're at like 30,000 or something nonsense, or 25 or something like that. I mean, that's a lot of opportunities for a small handful of people to get out there everywhere. I mean, everywhere you go, there's a daggone Swift truck, or worse yet, see a lot there with Swift trailers.
Yeah, and they have a lot higher ratio of new drivers than other companies too, so that factors in as well.
Right, a training company and all that stuff. So I mean, it's a thing. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody's got to start somewhere, I say,
Bear
Hunter is the guys will do really well for themselves regardless of where they're at.
Bear Hunter's running Panther expedited stuff as a team, and he's killing it. He's pretty happy doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Sorry, so on that front too, again, I know that some people would prefer I don't talk about this, but so life as an expediter with a solo truck is very, very difficult. I was actually talking to dispatch today, and we were talking about that a little bit because I just sat for a couple of days, and it just really boiled down to that most of their loads are for teams.
Right.
They got to get like 700 miles in 24 hours. Or whatever, the one I'm picking up on Thursday is kind of tight. I got a 290 mile deadhead to get a 650 mile load, and from pickup to delivery is exactly 24 hours.
Right.
So I'm 10 down, Charlie.
Yep.
Can I do it? Yep. Do I need the work? Yep. So but
keep that left door closed, sir.
They actually how I ended up with that load is I was kind of complaining, I kind of worried that I'm not getting the mileage this week. It's already Tuesday and you're just not getting me a load. She actually had to get the supervisor to authorize a solo to do that load. Because the thing with expedited is, at like a Swift, they had the JIT stuff, right?
Right.
And it used to be that if you're on just-in-time load, you actually had to send messages every time you stopped that truck to let them know, hey, I'm just using the bathroom, give me 10 minutes, or hey, I'm fueling, this, that, the other thing. Well, in the expedited land, there is no being late, period.
Right.
So they'll take a load that's 650 miles, 24-hour return, and put it on a team because it pays the customer's paying them a rate that reflects, hey, you're not late, period. So it's a higher rate, but most of the stuff they do, they like to put teams on because of that danger of, what if the guy does it? What if he sleeps for 11 hours instead of 10? Well, that would blow the load, right?
Right.
So they'll put teams on it. Working with some of the Panther people that I work with, they're like, oh man, but it's really just solo loads that I'm getting. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your bottom line? What are you making?
Right.
Is it more or less than you were making at your previous carrier? Forget about the mileage for a second.
Right.
Are you making more or not? Well, yeah, I'm making about $1,500 a week more than I did at Swift. Okay, well, let's call that a win. Okay, you got to look at that bottom line, guys. Everybody wants to focus on the top line, but the bottom line is what we pay attention to.
Yeah, I don't care what the top line is, as long as the bottom line makes me happy. That's all I'm worried about. Sean Bearhunter said, I got a new consistent route, 4,500-ish miles home weekly. And he's doing that expedited
Nice.
stuff. So that's going to be a good one for him.
Good. Yeah, I know
And-
that they were looking for something for him specifically. So
he's working half hard, John. He and his wife both they team drive on that truck. But it you know, the expedited world's a weird world, right? Because you could sit around for 3 days and you're just like nothing, and then bam, you're on fire and you can't stop. That's what a lot of guys don't realize with that expedited stuff is, but they pay you for that time. I mean, you're making money, trust me. You know, and a lot of guys, I only run 4,500 miles. But the rates on those loads are pretty damn good.
yeah, all in after surcharge, you're looking at $240 a mile.
You know,
that's leased to a carrier. You know, so they've got to be making 3, right, to make their money. They're higher paying loads. And you know, Panther does they kick most of it down. They really do. They're making sometimes from talking to them, because they're pretty transparent with me. I don't know if they are with everybody, but I've started to kind of in with them a little bit. And you know, their margins are really slim. They are giving most of the line haul to the trucks. So that's a good carrier right there. Now, do they have their own brand of BS? Absolutely. But every carrier does. So you just got to decide, can you live with that or not?
right.
You know?
I mean, everybody's got their own requirements as far as what it is they need to make and what they want to make and all that kind of stuff. You know, and you hear one guy saying, "Oh man, I'm thrilled to death making 1,500 net a week." You hear another guy, "Man, I couldn't live off that if I tried. I got to make 4,500." Well, okay, I mean that's you. But then they'll be like, "I can't believe you'd work for 1,500 a week," and I'm like, "Man, if it meets your requirements and it pays your bills and you've got a little left over every week, man, that's a win, bro." I mean, you know, some people don't want or don't need necessarily 10 grand a week net, you know, and then people want to harp on them for it. And I've always found that ridiculous. I've always thought, man, why are you worried about what he's making? Right.
Well, you know, let's go back to when I first started driving in 05, 06. You know, this is back, it was still paper logs. The most technological cell phone at the time was the BlackBerry.
Right.
The BlackBerry. And literally, you know, the guys that were making really good money, you would see them at the skillet, at the counter. And yeah, they were getting something to eat, but you know what else they were doing? They had all their papers laid out. They were making phone calls. Right. They were negotiating hard to get the rates that they wanted. And yeah, they made really good money. You know, you talk to those guys and they're, you know, they're into that $150,000, $200,000 a year net, a lot of them.
Right.
But are they going to live past 55? That's something that's important to me, Charlie.
Right.
You know, what kind of stress are you under to make that money?
I mean, you look at some of those guys and you're like, damn. I'm like, damn, bro, you look pretty good for 60. He's like, yeah, I'm 37, man. I got this. You know, you're like, wow, bro, you're working too hard. You need to calm down. Driving John said, do what's best for you. Don't worry about what others say. And I agree with that, sir. I think that's a fine way to go about it. You know, if you're doing what's good for you and your people, man, I am not going to knock you. If you're complaining about
on the flip side,
bit of money you're making, and you say something like, "Oh, I can't make enough money, and my carrier's robbing me," and you tell me that you're driving 87 miles an hour on a lower mileage contract, and they're not paying you to get there at 87 miles an hour, but they're paying you to get there at 50. Why the hell are you spending all that extra fuel? I'm gonna bust your nuts about it. And if you say, "Well, I just want to drive 80, bro," okay, fine, but understand what it costs you to do that, right? As long as the understanding is there, and I mean, I don't know, you have a reason or an excuse or whatever you want to call it to do what you're doing, power to you, man. I'm not going to knock you. Just don't come back complaining that, you know, "Oh, I can't make enough. I can't make enough. I can't make enough," when there's ways that you could have reduced your overhead simply by controlling your right foot. I mean, that right there, shopping for fuel,
Right.
really super easy things. Yeah, Chris Hamilton said,
you know what I
I'm
paid today,
56 and
Charlie?
I look great for 75.
Yep.
I mean, look,
paid $269 today.
nice. Nobody ever believes me, but I tell them, hey, man, I'm 32 and I think I'm looking pretty good, so whatever. Whatever.
Oh, Charlie.
God, that'd be younger than my son. I'm just saying, whatever. That guy cracks me up. My son, I don't know why, but he tells people all the time, yeah, I'm 27 or 28 or something like that. I'm like, dude, you're like 33. Shut your mouth. I'm like, I know when I made you. You can't bust it out like that. He's like, no, be quiet. He's hilarious. He just does it for fun. And people are like, oh, you look great, bro. And I'm like, whatever. Oh, let's see. Driving John had a comment here. From my experience, if you're not making money in trucking, all you need to do is look in the mirror 99% of the time. Sir, that is an absolute, I am with you. I agree. And in those rare instances where, I mean, you are a go-getter and you still can't make money, you're probably at the wrong carrier or doing the wrong thing. And maybe, just maybe, you might need the services of Jeff and myself and our community guys and our coaches to really, break down and let's take a deep dive and take a real look at what your operation is, what your overhead is, what your expenses are. Let's go over a P&L and see where maybe some changes could be made. I mean, the shopping for fuel thing is a huge thing. A lot of guys like, I only pick fuel at the Loves or the TA or the Pilot or wherever because I like their showers. Okay, but if you're paying 40 cents more a gallon there, probably a bad choice to get that free shower. Because if you're saving 40 cents at a better fuel stop down the road, you could save enough on a 100-gallon fill up to pay for that shower and still pocket, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks in your pocket after you pay for the shower.
Yeah, we were doing that calculation before we found the fuel card that we use. We were looking at that, and the mom and pops on the Condata card were our best bet a lot of times. And I would be the only Swift tractor trailer there.
Right.
And it would take me a half hour of fuel because it really was the lowest price fuel in a route, and all the independent guys were there. Right.
Right.
But I was saving enough money to where we did that exact calculation, Charlie, and I had saved $60 versus going to one of the big four. $15 for a shower. So what? I'll go buy a shower.
Right.
And still net more on the bottom line.
Chris Hamilton said, dang, Charlie, I thought Jeff was your dad. Woohoo. He wants to fight, Jeff. I'm just saying, bro. Just saying. Gonna throw down and got some knuckle up. Play some chess or something. That's what I'm saying. Y'all are old. Good God. Driving John said, the best advice I could give somebody about buying fuel, buy the cheapest raw fuel price you can. Find after discount and IFTA, and you will see a huge difference on your bottom line. Abso-freaking-lutely. When Jeff and I swapped over to this ES Advantage fuel card that we use, Rosie and I, my wife drives with me, in case you don't know, John. So my wife and I drive kind of half team sometimes. And we were saving somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,500 a month when we started using that thing. Just $1,500. And all we did was switch fuel cards and do a little bit of shopping. And my wife and I drive slow typically. I mean, we're usually somewhere between 60 and 63. Every now and then I'll put my foot back in it because I want to get home or get somewhere quicker or, want to tighten up on the next load, something like that. But for the most part, we run somewhere between 60 and 63. And, my truck's 9.1 miles per gallon lifetime average on it right at the moment. And I mean, why wouldn't I save $1,500 a month? The math all by itself says, why wouldn't you do that, stupid? You know, $1,500 a month times 12 months. I mean, what are we talking? $18,000. Just that by itself is insanity. Why you would pass that up? I don't understand it. A lot of guys don't understand how to price fuel, though. They don't know that every state has their own IFTA rate, and to really figure out the best price of fuel is, like you said, the raw fuel price. No IFTA, no discount. You know, everything out of it. You know, what are you paying per gallon of fuel? Because the IFTA you're going to pay no matter what as you're driving through each state, and there's really nothing you can do about that. It's going to happen either way. But if you can save, you know, 5, 10, 20, 15, whatever per gallon, by all means, man, do that, you know, and then go pay for your damn shower. Get over it. Park at the Loves or Pilot or wherever you want to park. Pay the damn money, and you still got extra money in your pocket. And that adds up over the course of the year. You know,
Yep.
There's people that we've talked to before when they're first starting out, and they're like, God, I can't make any money. We're like, bro, how fast are you driving? As fast as the damn truck will go. Well, you know what? Why do you get there? How early are you to every load? Oh, I get there like the day before, and I sleep there, and I spend the whole day there, and they won't unload me till that next afternoon. So I'm just hanging out. So why did you get there so damn early? And now you're sitting there idling your truck, and you drove really fast to get there, but you didn't have to. So you lost a mile per gallon on that trip, driving 10 miles an hour faster than you had to, right? And that you know, that simple thing right there on a solo truck, depending on the prices of fuel, could be anywhere from, you know, $5,000 to $10,000 on a solo truck, just lost in your speed. Not even shopping for fuel. $5,000, $10,000 lost because you wanted to get there faster to stare at the building. I mean, power to you, but don't cry about the money you're taking home when you're doing things like that, especially when you're in a controlled mileage contract type deal. You know, we went out and got our own insurance program built for us for the guys over at Swift, and now we can insure pretty much anybody, even outside of Swift. Guys out there running different carriers, things like that. If your carrier will allow you, I mean, because apparently there are some that won't allow you to use any insurance but the one they have, whatever. I don't particularly care for that, but we've seen that we've been able to save, you know, a lot of people some decent money on just our insurance cost. You know, and with amazing service and products. I mean, it's crazy. We have, you know, we've got a product out here that nobody else even carries, you know, and it protects you in ways that you just can't even imagine, you know, and you know, if you're interested in that, you can reach out to the folks over there at Seabright. Call 800-366-6466. Mention Contractors Corner while you're there. That's our little group that we built that insurance under. And if you mention Contractors Corner, let them give you a quote. See what kind of deal they can make you on your physical damage and all that sort of stuff if you're on a excuse me, on a payment or something like that. And they've got gap coverage, unlike OOIDA. Just saying, whatever. And a lot of other companies won't give you gap coverage. And I got a cramp in my right foot, Jeff, that's doing some amazing things, and I'm trying to walk it off while I'm standing here, and it's not working. And it hurts a lot. Oh my God. It's making the toe next to my pinky toe stand up. And it's a very odd cramp. Oh, and it's not pleasant. So much not fun.
Yeah.
Whew. Good Lord. Yeah, look at those trucks passing, Jeff. Life on 18 Wheels says, I still have Seabright, still loving it. Yeah, and he's over there at Landstar. Oh, he called me with an interesting question. He recently purchased this truck that he's in now, and I wasn't positive on part of my response. So one of the pairs of duals he has is size 295 whatever, and all the rest are 275 whatever. The pair is matched up, and he was asking if I thought that would cause a shaking. I asked him where the shaking was. You know, he says, oh, I get it at about 65 miles an hour. I said, and it goes away when you speed up or slow down. He said, yeah. He feels it in his backside, not his hands. So that kind of leads you to believe, you know, rear end, not front end.
Right.
And I don't think that the 295, 275 is that big a difference in the tire. They're still both low pro 22s. They are recaps, and he's planning on changing them. What my recommendation to him was head over to an MD alignment shop, and Landstar's got a deal with an MD guy that comes out to their terminal in Jacksonville. So he's already got that set up. And I found out that his drive axle is not balanced. So those tires aren't balanced. His steers are. And he's planning on replacing the drive tires anyhow. I said, so this is what I would do. I would go over, get it, get the alignment checked. Since you're going to get the tires changed, go ahead and get those balanced. Either use the Centromatics or the balanced beads. Of course, I believe the balanced beads are better. Don't use both. For a long time, they said it's okay to use both. And then we found out this year that it's probably not a good idea to use both because it's overweighting and they're fighting each other. So don't use both anymore. If you're using both, pick one or the other. I recommend the balanced beads because I just think it's a better product all the way around.
Right.
So yeah, so he's going to be getting an MD alignment next trip back into Jacksonville. And, he's like, well, should I get the new tires now? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Let them look at what you have now because they can help. That'll help them read the tires and give them a little insight in possibly to what may be an alignment issue, if there is one, or what's going on. Bad shock, springs, whatever.
Right. Word about MD alignment certified guys, by the way. If it's a mobile guy, not all the mobile guys do the full inspection for that price.
Right.
Like there's a guy in Tooele where I live. He'll do the alignment, but he does not do the inspection. So I'm like, well,
what Jeff is talking about,
shop.
An MD alignment shop, for anyone who doesn't know, that runs a proper MD shop, does a full-blown inspection front to rear of your entire drive line, everything that needs to be, steering, drive, the whole 9 yards. And they really look for worn components that could cause problems and things like that and make recommendations. Some of the mobile guys literally come out, and even the MD alignment guys, not that it's bad, it's just not quite as full of service. You are paying for the convenience and they want to get in and out as quick as they can. So what they tend to do typically is they come out and, they get it aligned and lined up, but they're not necessarily doing a full-blown inspection. So if that is the case, definitely ask the guy Life on 18 Wheels if he's doing a full inspection of all the components. And if not, make sure you go get that done anyhow, since it's a new truck to you. You want to get ahead of that and don't have any of those problems, because, if you go out and replace those tires, bro, and you still got a worn component somewhere, you're just going to eat up a brand new set of tires. Driving John said, do you encourage drivers to have side hustles? Why not, man? I mean, if you can balance it, absolutely. I mean, heck yeah. I mean, if there's something out there that that'll make you happy, keep you busy and not make you over busy, over stressed, absolutely. Make you a couple bucks on the side and whatever. Heck, man.
Right.
Anything that leads you to entrepreneurship, I can't even say the damn word. Anything that leads you to entrepreneurship, we're all about. It's funny. Most of the coaching that Jeff and I do currently is trucking and truck owners and small truck fleet owners and things like that. But we have been known to stretch our legs a little bit, because business is business. And one of the things that we're working on is actually coaching just straight up businesses. Regardless of the business, a lot of the principles are the same. There are some very special things about the trucking industry that we really have some focus expertise on. But, if you're talking about business, man, and you've got some ideas, we've done a lot of learning and can help with a lot of marketing and some ideas on that front. So, reach out if you ever come up with something like that. Let's see. Itis is passive income. Half price Tim Keller says, I need a new Stetson. My head is swelling, increasing in size. You got jokes, bro, and I think it's hilarious. Hey, look, your sidekick account, Narc. That's great. Oh, good Lord. My side hustle, that's funny. My side hustle is calling Charlie and asking questions he can't answer. That's legit right there, and I appreciate that. But you know what? If I can't answer a question, I will find you an answer, and you know that. I'm just saying, Why not? And it doesn't pay great, though, but makes Jeff laugh. Absolutely. Oh my God. Anyhow, raining dogs and cats. I enjoy looking out that window. Yeah, right. Uh, sorry, trying to catch up on the chat. Trucker Tim said, I've had MD alignment guy out of Jacksonville meet me in St. John's, Florida several years ago. He was my first interaction with MD alignment rep. Very nice. Learned a lot from. See, look, when you can find guys that make repairs and things like that. I mean, look, Mike Craven, Narc, aka Narc, good guy, knows a lot, works on trucks. I mean, that's his bread and butter. I mean, the guy, he's a mechanic, he's a wrench turner. And if you ask him questions, he will absolutely answer them. I mean, I've heard stories of him helping, people who are broke down on the side of the road. People, mind you, who hate him or openly act like they hate him. And they're like, bro, I know we got some beef on the internet, but hey, can you help me out? Can you help me fix my truck? And he helps them. Crazy.
Yep.
People are absolutely crazy, but he does it and he'll explain to you how to do things. I had a guy, a mechanic that used to come work on Chewy all the time, came to my house, only charged me $35 an hour. And if I didn't want to wrench with him, he didn't care. If I wanted to wrench with him, man, he'd put tools in my hand, tell me exactly what to do. He'd sit back on a lounge chair if that's what I wanted and guide me through changing stuff, man. If you can find someone like that, you have found gold, I tell you, gold. So, keep an eye out for those good people. And when you find good people, let people know about them and, help drive that business to them. And maybe you can help them out. And now they're helping you out. And then the world's a great place and everybody's happy. Let's see. Multiple accounts is illegal on YouTube. Not when you own the copyright. Exactly. Driving with John. That's an interesting question. And I think that the answer to this question is variable, and I'm going to go with it depends. But the question John asked, Jeff, was what do you think needs to be fixed in trucking?
I think we start with the guy in the mirror.
Right? Look in the mirror first. Right?
So just a lot of the groups that I'm involved in, they like to play the blame game. The group of people that has the target on their back right now is brokers. And here's the thing. Everybody wants transparency, right? Show me another industry where your supplier, basically, and brokers supply freight to you, the trucker. It's kind of a weird dynamic. We can consider them customers if you want, but for the purpose of this discussion, let's say they're supplying you with freight. Show me another industry where your supplier has to tell you what they paid for the item they're selling you. That's just business, bro. When a broker comes up with a rate, I don't know where this came from, honestly, Charlie. It's certainly not capitalistic at all. But I don't know where it came from. Guys want to know what the broker's getting paid. That's none of your business, man.
Yeah, I don't
Let's
care.
turn it around. What's your overhead? Because I think you should only make a profit of 20 cents a mile. Let's make that rule.
Exactly.
That's what they're trying to do to brokers. Now, if you feel like a broker is ripping you off, by all means, don't use that broker and let other people know you think he's ripping you off. That's how you handle that. You don't need to go to Uncle Sam and have a regulation. You just need to be responsible for yourself. And that's where I would start. Be responsible for yourself. And then, like I say, you see something that's an injustice or whatever, let other people know. Talk about it. Say, hey, this broker over here, man, that's shady as all get out.
Right.
Oh, really? Well, let's check that out. Now, the other part of business is if you could get a hold of an actual rate con on the broker side, you know what that gives you? That gives you an advantage in negotiating. So here's what people want, Charlie. They want that advantage without working for it.
Right.
Now, in other business, that would be called industrial espionage, by the way.
Right.
Just saying.
So,
but yeah, it's a weird thing in our industry, and I think if we work on ourselves first, we have all these regulations not a lot you can do about it. If you focus on the things you can do something about, I think that's where you start. And it's one trucker at a time.
Right.
Create a movement, man.
So Driving with John followed up. He said, I was referring to training or equipment or regulation and so on. And I think that's actually what we're talking about as part of the regulation side. As far as going into the training or equipment, I think equipment is fantastic these days, man. Look, I honestly believe equipment is amazing. I like the electronic logging systems. Some of them are a little wonky here and there, whatever. I like that I don't have to juggle 3 log books and be pressured by a carrier to fudge my logs and throw the old one out and try and keep up with the lies. I mean, that's why I went to Swift to start with in 08. Fifi back in the day used to encourage you that, hey, you got hours? No, bro, I'm out of hours. They're like, you got another logbook? I'm like, well, yes. And then you got hours. And I'm like, no, I'm done. Bye. No. It's my life. It's the life of people out on the road. I'm not willing to do that. I did it for a short time and I did not dig it. But yeah, so I mean, training, Mike Henderson's got a point here. He says, as a mentor, I say the biggest problem is how little we train and pay new drivers. You're not getting the best and brightest when you're paying less than $1,000 a week after training. At the same time, I am going to throw out there that what other jobs can you go to school for 3 weeks and come make $60,000 your first year out? There's not a lot. I mean, of course, you could go to McDonald's, right? And would you like fries with that, sir? And get $15 an hour, right? But that's still not $60,000 a year. And so, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. More regulation. A lot of people are screaming for more regulation. I'm screaming for less regulation. Get your thumbs out of my business, Uncle Sam. I don't like it. And it's not just my business, but my business. You dig? Man, I feel like they're wrist deep some days. Let's see. Before Driving John, bro, I dig all the interaction, man. Seriously, I do absolutely dig your engagement, as they say in the world out here that you're a part of. You know that. He said broker transparency is like going to a car lot and making the car lot give you the paperwork showing how much they bought the car for and negotiating from there. Exactly. It's not realistic. It's not a real look, man. Like, okay, so at Swift, we've got people talking about, oh my God, I can't believe Swift's making this on this load, or they're making that. And I know it because I snuck in and I saw a rate con, or, the customer told me how much that they're making. And see, here's the thing. I honestly, truly do not care what my customer or anyone else is making. The only thing I'm concerned with is, am I happy with the money I'm making and the rate that I'm getting? It goes along with the Swift load board or any load board. I prefer an all-in non-negotiable rate. Honest to God, I do. I just think it's a better way to do business. If they put a load up on a load board and they say, it's going to go from here to here, from point A to point B, we're going to pay you $1,000. And I sit back and I do the math. I'm like, all right, I got a deadhead X amount of miles and I'm going to run this load and I have this much time and I'm going to have this much downtime at the end, whatever. Does this $1,000 meet my financial needs? Does it meet the needs of my business and my family life, right? And as long as the answer is yes, I'm all about it. So, I mean, it's just a thing. I don't know why anyone else is worried about what anyone else is making. I mean, sure, if you get some information, great. Use that and to your benefit, and I don't know, maybe negotiate something better for yourself down the road somewhere else, right? I just don't care what my customer is making. All I care about is what my bottom line is. I don't care about my gross numbers. I care about my net numbers. Yes, the gross makes and leads to the net. I control my expenses. I control how much fuel I use. I can speed up or slow down as I see fit, right? On a light load, maybe I'll run a little faster and keep myself at that happy, 9-10 mile per gallon run, right? And if it makes sense and I can get another load out of it because I drove a little faster, by all means. If your customer is paying you to drive fast, by all means, I hope you're being compensated for it. If they're not paying you to go fast and you're doing 80 miles an hour and you can make more money doing 50 and still make that load on time and safe with less wear and tear on your tires, your motor, your engine, and everything else, I don't know why the hell you don't. But hey, just understand that there's a cost to doing things like that, right? And as long as you understand the cost, we're okay. If you don't understand the cost and you're crying about it, we're gonna have a discussion. I mean, don't throw it at me and be like, oh, I can't make enough, you can't make enough, blah blah. If I couldn't make enough there, you obviously can't make enough there. I'm here to tell you I'm doing just damn fine. And I only work 4 days a week. And we don't even run real team miles. Doing just fine. Where there's some rough bits, absolutely, just like everybody else. I had 2 hurricanes hit us, all kinds of nonsense happen. And look, it's been a struggle on some of these weeks. But you know what? I'm still here and I'm still in business. And I still got a roof over I still got my wall back here, And other than that, man, I don't care what anybody else is making. Honest to God, I mean, whatever. Let me go back here. Lance Calhoun said, I hear if you run for ego, you still have 2 logs. I've heard some similar things. I've heard some things where they're like, oh, bro, you're like, I'm out of hours. They're like, no, you're not. Look again. And you hear keyboards typing. And all of a sudden, you got a fresh 70. Congratulations. No, bro, I ain't playing it. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Y'all do what you want to do. I'm not going to be okay with killing somebody. I just don't. Good Lord. Mike Henderson, absolutely. I don't want the government involved I don't want the government involved. I want the carriers to do a better job. Absolutely. And, Jeff and I and a lot of our guys, we work with the carriers that we work with and we talk to these people and we've seen some good changes. I mean, we've seen some horrible mistakes and we've seen some train wrecks happen, right? But we don't come to our customer or our carriers with nothing but problems. We say, hey, we're seeing this problem. And guess what? We've got this solution, this solution, this solution. What can we do to work towards these? And sometimes they're like, man, that one right there, number 2 sounds great. Or they're like, all 3 are BS, bro. We ain't doing it. However, you did trigger something else and maybe we can do something else, right? And I just make myself available to talk to these kinds of folks. And I say, hey, what is it I can help? How can I help? What can I do to make things better for, myself, our drivers, our industry, right? I want things to be better. I don't want things to be bad. I don't want anyone to, fail, but there are some people who have to fail. Let's just be real, right? I mean, not every business is going to succeed. That's just the law of averages. If business was easy, everyone would do it. Nobody would work for anybody else. So there you go. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Oh. So Half Price Tim, what other job requires twice the hours of most Americans? I don't care about that. See, I honestly, I don't. I knew what I got into, right? And I'm happy making what I make. And, I have run a team truck for, good Lord, most of my trucking career. Why? Because I don't ever worry about running out of hours, right? Until I want to. And then I make sure we run out of hours. And nobody can give me any static about it. I mean, and my carrier doesn't give me static. As a contractor, when I tell them I don't want to run anymore, they're like, okay, bro, call us when you're ready. And I just don't run. And maybe I'll get a phone call, maybe not. And they'll say, hey, man, we saw that you still got some hours. However, we know that you're taking some time off. But we do have a load in your area that we could really use some help on. I'm like, sorry, bro, can't help you. They're like, that's cool, man. We thought we'd reach out, maybe offer to you, see if we can cover it. Or they're like, man, we really need this thing covered. Is there any way you could do this and maybe, take your break at the other end? I'm like, yeah, okay, I could do that this time. A little back and forth between, you and your customer and a little goodwill goes a long way. But communication is key and running your business is important. Again, Tim says, who else lives in a truck their whole life for $2,000 a week? And choices, man. We all make choices, right? I don't live my whole life in a truck. Like I said, I work 4 days a week. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty happy. I come home every Monday night. I typically go back to work Thursday evening, sometimes on Fridays, sometimes on Wednesday when we want to go make some extra money. Oh, that's the beautiful thing about it. I can control how much more money I make in the week. I'm just saying, there's not a lot of businesses out there where you can do that because, maybe they're like, oh, we don't allow overtime, or we don't even allow our employees to work more than 32 hours so that we don't have to pay you benefits. Oh my God, don't even get me going on that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. There's been a bunch while I was ranting. Drive with John. I started trucking in 2004 with Frozen Food Express FFE. Was not a fan of that company. Worked there for a while and I bounced. They kept lying to me. My last trip out with them, I was supposed to be out 21 days and home for 3, right? That was the agreement we had. And I was out 9 weeks straight. And every load I got after my 21 days was like, hey, man, if you run this load, we got one on the other end that'll get you home, right? And every time, magically, it never worked. And then I was on one load. And when it finally all wrapped up, right, I was up in New Jersey. And they're like, hey, man, we got a load coming into Jersey that's going to run down to Jacksonville because I live in Florida at the time. And they're like, it's going to run down to Jacksonville, but it's not there and ready yet. So maybe you could do some local work for us. I'm like, sure, man, I'll do some local work, right? And I'm running around. I did local work for 3 or 4 days. And it was fine, man, whatever. I paid a couple bucks and I was happy. And I was a company driver at the time. So then it comes down to the day that they're like, hey, by the way, your load's ready, but here's the problem, man. If you don't have the hours to run it, it's got to be there like overnight, bro, from Jersey to Jacksonville. I'm like, look, if you ain't staring at my satellite, I'm just saying I can make it, right? Because this was my load home and I've been out 9 weeks and I'm done. I'm over it. I'm pissed. I just need to get home and see my people. My kids were little, and I just need to see family and people who love me, right? And they're like, well, all right, man, but if you can't make it, we're gonna have to turn you down there in North Carolina. We're gonna have another truck come over, snatch your load, and you're gonna take his load to California. I'm like, look, you just back off and leave me alone. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and I'll make it. So I ran down to the North Carolina border from New Jersey, and I pulled off on that on-ramp, off-ramp, on-ramp. I was on the on-ramp side, and took me a nap. Fixed my new logbook and headed down the road and made it to the customer 2 hours early. While I'm sitting there getting unloaded, I get a message on that nasty old Qualcomm with like the 2 lines of block little dot text anyhow. And they're like, we've noticed that you are in violation of logs. We tracked you all the way from New Jersey and you did not take a proper break. So you need to turn the truck off there at the customer as soon as you're done unloading, right? And do not operate that truck for 24 hours reset. I was like, the hell you say? I'm going home. They're like, if you move that truck, we'll call law enforcement, tell them what you did, and have you removed from that truck physically. I said, you know what? Okay. So I didn't move the truck. I reset the truck. Finally went home and was doing my 9 days since I was out for 9 weeks, right? Like day 3, man, they started hounding me on the phone. Hey, man, we got a load. We need you to come out. No, bro. Well, every week I'm out, I get a day off. I'm doing 9 days, pound sand. Next day, hey, man, we got a load. We really need to come out. We need to get that truck making some money. I'm like, look, it's not my problem, man. I did my 9 weeks. I'm taking my 9 days. Eventually, they wore me down. I was like, the hell with it. I'm going to get out there and I'm just going to run. This is like day 5 or 6 or something like that. I'm just going to go. And I got in the truck. I loaded it all up. I'm like pissed off and just angry. And I started to pull out of my driveway there in Plant City, Florida. And I thought to myself, is this really what I want to do? Am I really going to let these people control my life? I was like, the hell with this. I backed back in the spot. I hit the horn. I opened the passenger door and I started throwing all my crap out of the truck. Told my wife, Rosie, I said, hey, meet me over at the terminal over there in Winter Haven. And I may be needing a ride home. right? So I drive the truck over to Winter Haven, and I go inside, and I'm like, "Hey, driver leader, dude, here's the deal. I don't like this. I don't like your company. I don't like the way you guys work your people, and I'm out, bro. Here's your keys. I'm done." He says, "Hey, wait a minute. I'm going to give you a brand new Volvo, and I'm going to give you a 5 cent per mile raise right here, right now on the spot. I might even give you another little bonus on top of that." I said, "Hey, driver leader, dude, can you tell me this one thing? Can you look me in the eye as a man and tell me you're not going to lie to me not one more time?" He said, "I can't tell you that." He's like, that's half my job, man. I got to say whatever I got to say to keep you guys running." I said, "You know what? That's exactly right. You can pound sand." I did not say it that night. Tossed the keys, turned around, walked out, didn't look back, said, "The hell with trucking. This is stupid." Spent a little time not driving and thought, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Did some research, found out Swift was going to, electronic logs, and you wouldn't be able to fudge and all this other stuff. And I said, man, that's where I'm going to go. I applied to Swift. I came to Swift in 2008, November 7th of 2008. And I've been here ever since. I was a company driver for about a year and a half, and leased my first truck, international, with a plan to only keep it a year, train a guy on how to run a business as I learned how to run a business, hired a driver to work with me, and have him take it over at 12 months. It took me 13 months to save enough money for a down payment on a used truck on the outside market. That driver took over that truck, was doing fine till he got sick, and I bought my first used truck from a dealer outside, paid $48,000 for a 07 Freightliner Century. Ran that truck, got it with 492,000 miles, ran it up to almost 2 million, 1.8, 1.9, something like that, and loved that truck. Put a lot of miles on it, made a lot of good money, had some problems, rebuilt the motor, replaced the transmission, all the normal stuff, and still made a damn fortune on it. Now I'm leasing a 23 because I don't really think I want to own any trucks anymore, honestly. I'm okay with the rental model that I'm running right now. I'm getting kind of old, and I don't want to be driving too long. I don't want to have to drive, right? I like driving. I love driving. Don't get me wrong. But I don't like when I have to drive, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. Hope that story filled you in on my background. John, I hope to see you around more often. I'll have to come check out your channel, man, honest to God. And give you a little shout out over there if you and check out what kind of content you're putting out. You did say I could expect to see a lot of Swift trucks in peculiar positions, is what I'm understanding. And that's cool. Whatever. Ida Chewy was the man. Look, and I still, by the way, I still own my 2007 Century. We call her Chewy, and she sits over on my property out there, watching over my property that's a couple miles down the road. Exactly. Once a driver, always a driver. I'm sorry if I missed a bunch of comments while I was ranting, you guys. Half Price Tim Keller said, that story, Charlie, exactly what I experienced at most trucking companies I worked at until I got where I'm at now. Typical. Yeah. And look, man, I can tell you, I've never had that experience at Swift. In all the time I've been here, I have not had that experience. I had one guy, maybe two or three, honestly, just trying to pull it out of my head, head injury. Bear with me. Might have had a couple people over the years say, "Hey, man, could you get going?" No. And when I tell them no, and if you bug me again about it, then I'm going to have to call safety and we'll have a talk, right? And I mean, it is what it is. But yes, Trucking City Media, I am still at Swift. I've been here since 2008, November 7th, 2008, and a contractor for most of my time. And I like teaching what I've learned through hard-earned mistakes and knowledge. So that's what my partner Jeff and I do. We try and share some information while having a good time. And to be honest, those of you who know me know that this is kind of therapy for me. You can tell by the wall behind me, I'm a vet. Broke a lot of stuff back in the day, smashed my head, got some issues that I'm working through, 30 years later. I am retired from the Army, and I'm just doing my thing and getting on here talking, is kind of what I like to do. It helps me get out of the funk here. Every now and then I'll talk about some, deeper things. I'm actually working on thinking about doing a video series on mental health. because it's important to me. And I've struggled with some things over the last 30 years that I'm trying to work through now, and realizing, you know what? I don't have to be this hard ass. I don't have to be the guy that does it alone. So you guys here help me every time we get on here, and you help me every day. And I appreciate all of you. We are coming up to our time here. I got 1 minute till we hit the 8 o'clock hour. That'll put us a little over 2 hours for the day. But hey, just so you know, any of you guys that are new, hey, think about subscribing. Hit the like if you dug what we were saying. Please hit the thumb. If you didn't like what we're talking about, hit the thumbs down. But if you hit thumbs down, do me a favor. Be man up about it and tell me exactly why you didn't like the show. Put that in the comments, and at least give us a chance to make things better. And maybe we can do something different that'll help you out. And maybe we need a change. We need to stay in touch with our audience, right? And see what's going on, right? I mean, we're not above change and doing things better and learning new things. So I would appreciate it. Like I said, we get a thumbs down. It's funny. We get 1 or 2 every couple of weeks. I kind of know who some of them are, and it's funny. But here's the bummer. If you give me one of those, man up, woman up, whatever, and tell me exactly, and call yourself out. Say, hey, you know what? I gave you a thumbs down, and this is why. If you did this better, or I just don't agree with you, or I hate your stupid chin hair, or your dumb glasses, or your funky head, or your airborne stuff, you start talking trash about my airborne stuff, and we could fight in real life, IRL. Get it? I'm not throwing knuckles. Anyhow, but if there's anything that we didn't touch on that you guys would like to touch on in the future, by all means, put it down there in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, if you're even watching right now, I'm getting ready to hit the button to end this thing, so beware, it's coming. But we're here every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. I have not missed a single show since we started this thing nearly 3 years ago. I have been here every single show since we started. I'm dedicated and I'm passionate about what I do. And I have the ability with the way that I run my operation that I get to do that. And I'm thankful for that. And I have people like Ida helping me out to make sure I keep busy enough to be able to come home and do this every week. Most weeks. Every now and then you'll see me out on the road. Everybody thinks, oh, he's not a trucker. Yeah, whatever. I'm pretty sure I'm coming up on my 2 million miles. So whatever, man. I'm pretty proud of that. I can tell you, I'm pretty positive I've been in a truck for 3 million miles. That's my assessment. But they only track the miles that I did, never as a trainer. I spent a lot of time as a trainer sitting in the right seat, not actually holding the wheel. Simply because I wanted these guys that I'm taking out on the road to learn how to actually run a truck and be a trucker. Anyhow, with that all said, man, I want to thank you all for being here and tuning in. And John, man, it was great interaction. I appreciate it. And all the rest of you. Seriously, I dig you guys. Come check us out again Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Road Warrior Entrepreneurs is like what we like to call ourselves. We got a side gig where we do coach folks. If you've ever looking for a coach, nothing wrong with a business coach. I pay for one myself. Quite a bit of money. I'm just saying. And I think we're reasonable. Check us out, rwedrive.com if you're interested in our private community. And we'll see you guys next week, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesdays. Count on it. Once again, you guys look after each other. No one's out here looking after us but us. And thank you. Seriously, I love y'all. No joke. I seriously mean that. And can't wait to see you guys next week. And by the way, feel free to reach out to us on the socials. Way to do that. It's down there in the comments in the show description.